I'm Molly Wolff, and we're in Englewood, Colorado, which is kind of the south metro part of Denver. And I'm a community member and a stay-at-home mom, and I became engaged in the issue of human trafficking about 2 years ago. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery, and it takes many forms, but primarily sex trafficking and labor trafficking. My neighbor and good friend, she lives right next door, brought me a book called Not for Sale and said, read this book and I want to ask you a question when you're done reading it. So I read the book and felt so outraged after reading it and hearing stories about people, like at the time it was 2007, and here are all these people enslaved around the world. 80% are women, 50% are children, and it's 2007, how could that be? So I found that shocking, and I thought, how could I not know this? And people have to know this. My neighbor then said, I want to put on a conference and raise awareness and help other people, just regular community members like us. Great, let's hold a conference, but no one's going to come if they don't know the issue, if they don't know the issue exists. So we started doing community movie nights, and we would just put up flyers and invite people to come watch a documentary on human trafficking. And then we would have a panel afterwards with anti-trafficking organizations so people could ask questions. And so we raised awareness that way. And then my neighbor and I the funding, because it takes money to put on a conference, so we had to raise funds as well. And to be honest, we primarily did that. We got a couple grants, but primarily did that with family and friends and some of our own stuff. And so anyway, so we had the conference last fall, and we had 300 folks come, and our primary focus was not only to help raise awareness and educate people, but to also engage them. And after that conference, I was asked to be the state advocate for an organization called Transitions Global, and it's an international nonprofit that provides holistic aftercare services to survivors of sex trafficking. So they specifically help 11 to 18-year-old girls who were sex slaves in Cambodia. They're also now opening shelters in Mumbai, India. So for the past year, I've been their state advocate, which means that I just help raise awareness about their services and about the issue in general. And why I was so thrilled and honored to be an advocate for Transitions Global is because their model, not only is it holistic, so it's physical, mental, dental, all of the services, therapy, but what makes them stand out is very high success rate with the girls, because they kind of allow them to dream again. A lot of the girls who have been traumatized in this way, they kind of forget how to smile, and they certainly forget how to dream after being abused repeatedly for years. And so they kind of help plant that seed again and give the girls some hope back and let them dream. What would you like to do? What interests you? Where would you like to go with your life? And then they help make that come true. So these guys say, we want you to turn into empowered women, and how can we help you do that? So the girls pick the dream and they make it come true. So these girls become yoga instructors or office managers or interpreters, higher end career training that will sustain them for a lifetime. So it's really just an amazing model. When I first read about human trafficking, it was an article on a woman named Molly Wolff, who was a survivor of human trafficking. She was a Thai woman who has now created shelters also in Southeast Asia. So that was about 7 years ago, and it just always was in the back of my head. When I was in Minneapolis visiting family, I saw that there was a play on this issue, and I went to the play. And whenever, so I would just slowly start reading, I was reading articles when they would come up. However, it wasn't until I read the book Not for Sale that my neighbor gave me, where I literally could not sleep at night, and it kept me up. And I feel, you know, as adults, we hear about a lot of human rights abuses throughout our lifetime, and we feel bad for a while, and we might sympathize with the victims, and then we kind of go on and in our lives, and you forget about it. And we, you know, and I feel we are very privileged here and very comfortable. It's very easy to forget about the suffering of much of the world. This issue would not leave me, and it literally kept me up at night. And I could not sleep, so I felt compelled to do something. And I had not ever felt that way before. So it's happening all around. It's happening right here in our city. It's happening in basically every major city across the world. And that's what was so shocking. Like, how could this be happening? How can people not know? How could it continue to happen? Wasn't slavery abolished over 100 years ago? You know, many years ago. There are laws on the books in every country around the world, and it still continues to happen. For me, it's just continually bringing awareness to the issue, and that is one step. But awareness only goes so far, and then people have to get off the couch and engage, because it's not happening. Our governments are not stopping this. It has a lot to do with organized crime, and it's very sophisticated, and it's just it's so woven into many cultures. So it really is going to have to be folks, I believe, at the community level, taking a stand on this and coming together. And that's the shocking fact, is that it is happening, and it's actually growing. Like, technology has made the venue, the avenues for trafficking people much easier. So there can be, say, a bar owner in Chicago who can call up Moldova and say, I want 2 Eastern European women in 5 days, and they'll be there. I mean, it's really sophisticated, and it's happening. And then there's also the whole education piece. You know, with law enforcement, you would think, why isn't law enforcement or the FBI all over this? And again, it's a huge education piece, because just now officers are being trained. Just now, I think the number is only 300 officers in Colorado have been trained on the issue of human trafficking. So they have that lens now. So when they see a 13-year-old girl on the street, and the average age into prostitution in this country is 12, by the way, 12 to 13. But when they see a young girl on the street, instead of saying, look at that prostitute, they say, that could be a human trafficking victim. So that lens is really critical, and that is just now happening. It's almost like if we are on as far as awareness and education, and here's the wave, we're down here still, and it's just now coming up. So definitely educate yourself, and give your time or your skills and or your money, because like most nonprofits, these people doing very, very good work have very few resources to do it with. And it really, I'm not ashamed to say, a lot of it comes down to money. How many people can you affect? You need the funds to do that, and it's good work. So if you have any suspicions, there is a hotline number. It's through the organization CONET, toll-free, 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's 1-866-455-5075. So 866-455-5075. www.transitionsglobal.org, and great information there as well. This spring, Candace and another woman, Pam Harvey, with Not For Sale, and myself are coming up with a website called The Volunteer. It's VNet, the Volunteer Network to End Human Trafficking. And what it is, it's a volunteer coordination site specifically for human trafficking. So people that want to get engaged and get involved can go to the website, and we can hook them up with different organizations depending on their skills and their interests.